Digits BB. Hey everyone, this is Digits BB. Welcome to another evening stream. Tonight we'll be revisiting Dear Esther Landmark Edition. Yes, Misery. Unfortunately, this is the sad game, the game of Misery that we played a couple weeks ago on this channel. The reason why I'm playing the game again tonight is, well, for one, Grace and others were intrigued by this game and said I could play a second playthrough of it. And two, we're revisiting it tonight to get some of the achievements that I missed the first time I played this game. So the achievements I'll be going for tonight, there are two of them. One of them is to trigger every voiceover location in the campaign of the game. And the second one is to find all 4 urns in the game. Apparently there's a hidden urn, like a vase in each chapter, and basically if you approach each of them and look at them, that'll count toward progress for the achievement. There's one in each chapter, and if we find all 4 of them throughout the course of the game, then we'll get an achievement for that. And along the way we'll be triggering every voiceover point in the game. So there are 35 different voiceovers, a number of them in each chapter. And in order to make sure I don't miss anything in this playthrough, I'm going to be looking at a walkthrough consistently as I play the game. So for anyone who's interested in seeing, I guess, a more natural playthrough of this game, you can watch my first blind playthrough of the game highlighted on my channel. Today I'm basically just going for completion of the game, and so I'll kind of not necessarily be rushing through the game because I am going to be spending time going to each different location, but I think the way I'll be playing the game tonight will be very methodical rather than like naturally wandering around and getting lost and working my way through the game. I'm going to be following a walkthrough pretty much point by point to make sure I don't miss any of the voiceovers in each chapter. So that's how it'll be today. And I guess if there's still interest in this game after I play it tonight, there is one more achievement that I won't be able to get tonight because it's the achievement for triggering every voiceover point in the director's commentary of the game. To explain that, so if I click here and I'm about to start the game from the beginning, here there's a box that I can check or uncheck with the director's commentary of the game. So there's one additional achievement for doing every voiceover in the director's commentary. I think in the director's commentary there's actually even more voiceover points in that version of the game. But for the director's commentary mode, they actually have like an orange like beacon or marker for every voiceover to make them easy to spot. That way the player can actually hear everything the director has to say. So that wouldn't necessarily be a difficult achievement to get. It's just not something I'll be doing tonight because that involves doing an entire additional playthrough. But yeah, so tonight we're going to go for 2 of the 3 remaining achievements that I don't have yet, and we'll start from the very beginning with this chapter, The Lighthouse. Oh gosh, I'm sorry about that. Ooh, the game's having a bit of a hard time loading to start here. Hopefully that doesn't continue. Alright, so another interesting thing is I'm not going to remember the voiceover scripts off the top of my head, but from what I read in info about this game, apparently there's actually the voiceovers change from one playthrough to the next, like the script that the narrator reads. I guess like they probably wrote like a variety of different lines he could say for every location in the game, and it's random which one he'll say in each playthrough. So regardless of going for achievements or whatever, in order to actually hear every possible thing the narrator could say in this game, you'd have to do multiple playthroughs to find out. Alright, so we're going to start by walking toward this lighthouse, according to my walkthrough. And I think for the sake of saving time, I'm probably not going to waste too much time exploring these areas. That's right, your flashlight turns on automatically. I mean, there's a gross poop toilet here, but I don't know if we need to look at that for too long. But I don't believe the narrator has anything to say in here, so we can just step outside. I don't think we, since we're going to be exploring a lot, I don't think we want to waste too much time going to areas that aren't necessary for the sake of these achievements. So, just seeing that they go up to pass to the But yeah, before I actually played this game on stream, I was wondering if it would fit into like the ambient stream games category, but it's actually quite a sad game, as we found out. I'm not going to talk about the details of the story too early on here, in case anybody who joins who hasn't seen this game before, but it definitely has kind of a sad story, and one that's really cryptic, and we weren't able to really figure out what was going on in the game until the very end. Let's see. What's going on here? I remember you can like fall down this cliff, right? Is there a way to like work my way around here, maybe? Am I going the right way according to the walkthrough? Maybe I'm not. I think maybe I'm supposed to be up there. I think it was telling me to go up above and not go out to sea. I don't know if there's really anything to hear over here, so maybe I should go back. Can I run in this game? I don't remember. I don't think I really can I? No, I can. I was thinking of Firewatch. In Firewatch, which is another first-person walking game I played recently, in that game you can actually run, which speeds things up a bit if you're trying to just hurry along like I'm doing now. But in this game, you're stuck at one speed. Said there are two paths. Take the path to the right. One sec, I need to move my chat over so I can actually read it. There we go. Like the graphics in this game, Misery says, yeah, it's I guess this game started out as a Source Engine mod or a mod of Half-Life 2. Oh, I can walk along here, can't I? Yeah, I can. Okay. This game apparently started as a mod of Half-Life 2 and was later released as a standalone project. Which, the Stanley Parable is a similar origin story. Stanley Parable is kind of another game in the style of like a walking simulator game with kind of minimal gameplay, but that one has like more of like a comedic story to it. Okay, so it turned out I could just walk over. Oh. What am I looking at right now? Just a wall? That's not a cave, is it? So, here's some nice trash. That is not an urn. This is trash. I think it's a paint can, but I can't really tell. Or like canned food or something. Alright, so keep walking on ahead. And this time, I am told to go down. So I'm gonna slide my way down here. I guess we did need to go toward the beach eventually, but we did not want to miss the voiceover point, which I would have missed if I kept going this way at the beginning. So this is why following a walkthrough is important. Let's see. The walkthrough is encouraging me to walk into the water and go too far to get that one, to get the achievement you get if you let the character drown, but we're not going to do that. Because I already have that achievement, and also drowning in this game really scares me, and I don't want to do it again. Alright, so we're going to keep walking along the beach. Yeah, drowning. I did it once on accident during my first playthrough, but it turns out that actually gives you an achievement, so it was worth doing once, but it kind of scared me. Okay, so drawing in the sand. This my guide makes a reference to this as a landmark. So there's a little drawing in the sand here. I can't tell what that is. It just looks kind of like a... From here, it looks like a G. It's some kind of symbol of something. Okay, so I don't think there's any way to go forward here, so I'm actually supposed to turn around after getting that reading there. Hello, Grace. Thank you for joining us. We're replaying Dear Esther to get that voiceover 100% achievement. And also the urn achievement, because I don't think I found any of the mysterious urns in this game during my first playthrough, but there's one in each chapter that we need to find. Okay, head toward the staircases over the beach. So Gracie didn't hear earlier, but I am using a walkthrough to make sure I don't miss any voiceovers, so I'll be playing the game kind of methodically, just making sure I follow everything the walkthrough says to do. So the staircase over the beach. Oh, this is it right here. This kind of reminds me of some places that I went camping growing up. This beach out here. I went on one camping trip when I was like 16 where we hiked like all the way across a windy beach and like visited a lighthouse. It's pretty cool. Fingers are freezing. Yeah, hang in there. It was... Yeah, so me and Grace have both had quite a day with, it's been windy on and off, and it has, like, snowed a ton today. Like, I was walking back home today, and, like, some of the roads I had to walk along weren't, like, shoveled thoroughly, and so, like, I was, like... walking in my boots, the snow was like up past my ankles at some points, and I was getting snow inside my boots. It's pretty brutal. Alright, so we gotta go along this way. Alright, and on we go. Again, I'm not sure if I'm getting voiceover scripts that are different from the first time I played this game, but they could very well be, because I guess the things that the narrator says are randomized in each playthrough. And yeah, that snow, like, it kind of defeats the purpose of wearing snow boots when the snow is so high that it goes into the boots from the top, which is something I experienced a couple times today. And Grace is shorter than me, so that would be even worse for her. There's no game sound? Is there not? Hold on a second. There should be game sound. Hold on. OBS. OBS, how you betray me. Let's see, maybe a second. Let's move this a bit over here. Whoops. Okay, I'm gonna walk around a bit here. Tell me if there's game sound now. You should be hearing like wind and stuff. OBS is doing that annoying thing where it switched away from my headphones being the desktop audio source, and so that's why for the first chunk of this stream there was no game sound, but that should be fixed now. This is probably something I should make sure I check like every stream ahead of time. Is it fixed? Okay. Well, I'm glad I knew that early on. Thank you for letting me know, because this could have gone like... It's a bit too loud. Okay, we're gonna keep playing. Let's see if this is better. So upset, dude, so upset. What an unprofessional...
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this: to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Alright, how is the sound just now? Is that... I mean, I'm not going to be talking over the voiceover, so that won't be a problem, but I want to make sure that, at least when I'm playing the game like this, my voice isn't totally drowned out by the wind. Sound is good? Alright.
They were God-fearing people, those shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradictions?
I think we just work our way to the bottom of the mountain here. A lot of these voiceovers are like really cryptic, and it's hard to like really get at what the narrator is saying, but I think by the end we kind of had an idea at the end of the last playthrough kind of what this game is meant to represent. It's just hidden in a lot of cryptic language, like something written by an English major.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Got a nice cave over in the distance here. On our right, we've got a right ship. There's the lighthouse. So there's some eerie sounds coming from inside the cave.
This hermit, this seer, this distant historian of bones and old bread, where did he vanish to? Why, asked the farmers. Why, asked Jacobson. Why bother with your visions at all, if you're just to throw your arms up at the cliff and let it close in behind you and seal you into the belly of the island, a museum shut to all but the most devoted?
Got some spooky caves drawings in here. Alright, I understand, Grace, go for it. Music in this game is really tragic and eerie too. But music is one of the biggest things in setting a game or a film's atmosphere, so it serves its purpose. See, am I going the right way? I think based on screenshots I've looked at, I think I'm walking the right way. Yeah, I don't think we've been to this specific spot before.
I've become convinced I'm not alone here, even though I'm equally sure it is simply a delusion brought upon by circumstance. I do not, for instance, remember where I found the candles, or why I took it upon myself to light such a strange pathway. Perhaps it is only for those who are bound to follow.
Alright, according to my guide, that was the last voiceover in this chapter, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. But we're not quite finished looking for things in this chapter, so look up ahead here. Yeah, that's it, I think. We're looking for kind of a Stonehenge rock formation. And the first urn of this game should be somewhere around here. So go to the largest rock. Somewhere around here. So go to the largest rock. From the path that you came from. Okay, that would be here. This way, so go to the largest rock from the path you came from, then turn to your right and go in that direction. So go to the largest rock, turn right. I don't want to go too far this way. That's probably the end of the chapter, right? Dude, where is this thing? This game is so brown and gray that it's hard to distinguish things on the ground. Looks like the screenshot in this guide, it's like next to like a really big rock on the ground. But unfortunately there are a lot of really big rocks in the ground, so it's not very helpful, is it? Oh. Folks, we have our urn. I think like a gust of wind blew through it when I looked at it, so does that count as having found it? I'm not really sure how I can mark it, so I'm gonna walk all over it right now so the game knows that I found it. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely our urn for chapter 1. Okay. And then just go forward and finish the chapter, I guess. Oh, wait, which way is the end of the chapter? It's like this way, right? Yeah, that was our first urn. I don't know if that has any, like, symbolic significance to the story of this game and its meaning, but it's just kind of a hidden object that's there. And finding one in each chapter will get us an achievement. So that's what we're gonna do. I think I'm actually walking the wrong way. I might be walking backwards right now. Because I think when we were going into this area, we could see that lighthouse beacon in the distance. So I think I actually walked backwards just now. So let's not be foolish and get back on the right track here. Like this might be the way forward. Move toward the light. The lighthouse. Yeah, we don't have any of those like red flowers on this path, so I'm pretty sure this is the right way. Oh yeah, we have a dramatic drop here, so this would be the end of chapter 1. Right into chapter 2.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
I think given what we know about this game from the way it ends, I think I'm able to see what the narrator is talking about, at least with that line, which is pretty sad. Okay, so that was our first voiceover of this chapter. Okay, we have splitting paths here. To go left first.
All night the boy has kept me lucid. I sat, when I was at the very edge of despair, when I thought I would never unlock the secret of the island, I sat at the edge and I watched the idiot boy blink through the night. He's mute and he's retarded, and he has no thought in his metal head but to blink each wave and each minute aside until the morning comes and renders him blind as well as deaf-mute. In many ways, we have much in common.
So, I don't know, I don't think you guys can see Steam achievement notifications on the stream, but I just got the achievement for all the voiceovers, so we're at the beginning of Chapter 2, and I think in my last playthrough, this point was one of the only voiceover points I missed throughout the game, so we're actually already done getting all the voiceover locations. I think for the sake of just showing off what we can during this playthrough, I'll keep following the walkthrough and trigger the rest, but given that this is one of the only ones that we missed, or maybe the only one that we missed last time, I think I'll probably come across the other voiceover points naturally, but I think it's important to still follow the walkthrough to make sure that I don't miss the urn locations. Anywhere else to go over here? No, it is blocked off and our character is unable to jump, so we have to go back, and the walkthrough is telling us to walk to the ship over there. So we have to go all the way back around. Because our player character here is very scared of barbed wire and is not even willing to step over it. So you can't take any shortcuts. Is this too dangerous? Can we do this? Can, okay. Well, there's a shortcut. So yeah, we've already found the voiceover points, which means that the only other achievement that we need to go for in this playthrough is finding the urn in each chapter. And Grace, since you weren't here at the beginning, I guess I can also mention that if we're still interested in seeing more of this game and want to go for like absolute completion after tonight, then we could also do the director's commentary playthrough, which has an achievement of its own. The director's commentary also has an achievement for getting every voiceover, but in that version of the game, they actually apparently mark each voiceover point with like an orange marker or beacon of some kind to make sure that the player doesn't miss any of the director's bits. So that one would be much easier to complete if we play that version of the game. Let's go toward the ship. Walk right. Turn open container. It should be this, I think.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
We got more cryptic wall paintings or cave paintings here. There's a lot on the boat as well, right? It says neither did he, and neither did he eat nor drink.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Kind of straying off the path here. I think I'm supposed to go the other way. I can tell, looking at the preview on OBS, that this game probably looks really choppy on stream, which is kind of sad, but hopefully this is still watchable to the viewers.
Is this what Paul saw through his windscreen? Not Lot's wife looking over her shoulder, but a scar in the hillside, falling away to black forever. I've begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
Not choppy all the time, okay. This actually, it's a pretty game, it is. That actually kind of makes me worry, though, about playing, one of my upcoming games that I want to play on stream is a game called Firewatch, which is also a first-person game, like a walking simulator game kind of like this, but I think that game is even more technically demanding because it came out more recently. And it makes me worry that if this game has choppiness issues, then Firewatch would be, like, unwatchable trying to stream it from the laptop. That makes me wonder if maybe Firewatch was ever ported to, like, the Switch or something. Because if there's a Switch port and a capture from the Switch, then maybe that could play and stream more smoothly through the computer. I don't know, I'll have to figure out what my options are for games like this.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either. Three cormorants seen at dusk. They did not land. This house built of stone, built by a long-dead shepherd. Contents: my camp bed, a stove, a table, chairs, my clothes, my books. The caves that score out the belly of this island, leaving it famished. My limbs and belly famished. This skin, these organs, this failing eyesight. When the battery runs out in my torch, I will descend into the caves and follow only the phosphorescence home.
Have to be careful here, there's no fence anymore. It actually is possible to fall down this cliff and die. There is an achievement you get for falling off a cliff and dying once, but now that I already have that achievement, I don't really want that to happen again. Are we supposed to be going this way?
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. His fingernails were raw and bitten to the quick. They found the phosphorescent moss that grows in the caves deep under the nails. Whatever he'd been doing under the island when his strength began to fail is lost. He'd struggled halfway up the cliff again, perhaps in a delirium, perhaps trying to reach the Bothy's fire before curling into a stone and expiring.
Let's make a detour here and urn. Alright, a gust of wind came out of it, so the game acknowledged that I found the urn. Okay. Back to plot. Hi Lee, thanks for joining. We're playing a really sad game right now, but we feel less sad about it this time because this is the second time we've played it, and now we're just looking for things that we didn't find the first time. I forgot Lee's Twitch username for a second, so I was like, good evening, who is this person? Oh wait. Then I remembered it's Lee. Okay, I think we're coming up at the end of chapter 2, right? Yeah, because there's a cave right there, and that cave is where we end.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
That sounded like the audio, probably sounded like the audio was glitching there, but that's a part of the game music. Ooh, this is when we get to the really mysterious part of the game, right? All these candles. Okay, this is a really spooky drop here, but it's the drop to chapter 3.
From here, this last time, I have understood there is no turning back. The torch is failing along with my resolve. And hear the singing of the sea creatures from the passages above me, and they are promising the return of the gulls.
There is no other direction, no other exit from this motorway. Speeding past this junction, I saw you waiting at the roadside, a one last drink in your trembled hands.
An electric blanket like a burrito. It's the poodle burrito mode. It's the season for that, right? On the right or on the left? Oh, there's another path. Interesting, I didn't notice that. It's a sad story, but this is definitely the prettiest part of the game here. All these caves. I've been on a camping trip to caves before too, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's nothing like this because the caves are like pitch black without flashlights. But yeah, hiking through caves is pretty cool. my walkthrough is telling me to be careful. If I fall down here, and that means death. And then we would have to start back from the beginning of this part of the game. So let's not do that. Let's live instead and follow the candles.
In my final dream, I sat at peace with Jakobsen and watched the moon over the Sandford Junction. Goats grazed on the hard shoulder, a world gone to weed and redemption. He showed me his fever scars, and I mine, between each shoulder the nascency of flight. There's a little beach area over here. Oh. 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 The urn, 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 the urn. Okay, I found the urn. Okay. These are actually pretty well hidden. I would not have found that on my own in a normal playthrough without a walkthrough. Everything just kind of, like from far away, all these things just kind of blend in. Okay, so that was urn number 3. This is a drowned man's face, reflected in the moonlit waters. It can only be a dead shepherd who has come to drunk drive you home.
I fell in because I was like, you talked about reflecting, but we don't have a reflection. By the looks of it, all we could do is fall right in. Alright, and the guide said that was the last voiceover for this chapter. There aren't many in chapter 3, it's mostly just exploring the caves. Oh wow, all these cave drawings. I thought those were just normal lights on the walls for a second, but wow. I think I was looking stuff up about this game. There's actually like a lot going on with all like the mythology and like all these like drawings on the walls, which the director's commentary probably talks about that and explains it. Away from being a city? Is there anything else written over here? Away from being a city. And it shall be I think I can even read that. And it shall be a what? If you guys can read that, let me know, because I can't make out what those letters are supposed to say. And it shall be a ruinous heat? Is that what it says? And it shall be a ruinous heat? Or heap? Oh gosh, we're supposed to be sinking right now, right? Oh man, I'm afraid of swimming in this game. Don't want to drown again. Okay, I think we're supposed to be here, right? Alright. Another drop. Oh, yeah, this is a change of scenery here. We're out on the street somewhere. Is this is a hospital bed, okay. Okay, and that was the end of chapter 3. So now we're going into the 4th and last chapter of the game. walkthrough is telling me that the voiceovers are kind of scattered everywhere in this last chapter. And so the walkthrough is going to give us a set path, and we're going to go one way first and then backtrack.
The moon over the Sanford Junction, headlights in your retinas. Donnelly drove a grey hatchback without a bottom. All the creatures of the tarmac rose to sing to him. All manner of symbols crudely scrawled across the cliff face of my unrest. My life reduced to an electrical diagram. All my gulls have taken flight. They will no longer roost on these outcrops. The lure of the moon over the Sanford Junction is too strong.
Moon indeed. Alright, I think that's all we need to find on the left side, right? Because now the guide says there's like a voiceover, and then we go this way. Same people that made Amnesia Machine for Pigs. Is that the Amnesia, like the horror game? Because I actually didn't know that. I've never played any of the Amnesia games. You can barely hear me right now. Okay, let me... In that case, I'm going to turn the game volume down a little bit lower because it's probably getting pretty loud right now. I'm also talking kind of quietly, though. Okay, we'll see if that helps.
Dear Esther, I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
So on the beach here, there's all these little rows of whatever. And somewhere in this area is the urn. Where exactly? I don't know. Oh, is that it right there? Oh, I think that's it. I think it's it right there. I think that's it. The urn. I got the achievement, dude. I got the achievement. I got the achievement for the urns. That's the urn achievement right there. I guess you could say I I put in the work and I really earned that achievement. Thank you, everybody. I'm DigisB. We'll be here all weekend. All right. All right. Moving on with the game. Okay, so we need to go back this way, I think. Oh, this isn't where I need to be, is it? This is a dead end right here. I don't think there's really anything to see inside here either, is there? Just candles and more artifacts, probably. Yeah, parts of a car. With mysterious noises to accompany them.
There were chemical diagrams on the mug he gave me coffee in, sticky at the handle where his hands shook. He worked for a pharmaceutical company with an office based on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. He'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter, forming a strategic vision for the peddling of antacid yogurt to the European market. You could trace the connections with your finger, join the dots, and whole new compounds would be summoned into activity.
See, I think we'll probably be backtracking here, but tracing those words, I think it says a light from heaven shone the path. I think that's what that said. We'll probably walk back along this path here so we can read it from the start of the sentence.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
So we can see those paper boats in the water from here. I don't think there's really much to see out this way. I remember in the first playthrough this, I got really stuck and I couldn't see this staircase right here the first time I played, and I had no idea where to go. But I've learned my lesson, and now I know that staircase is right there. Bird's nest. Huh. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Alright, let's walk in the general direction of plot.
A sound of torn metal, teeth running over the edge of the rocks, a moon that casts a signal as I lay pinned beside you, the ticking of the cooling engine, and the calling from a great height, all my mind as a bypass.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
And as he was proceeding on his journey, and was come near to Damascus. Oh gosh, I can't even read this. Alright, so...
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
And neither did he eat nor drink. And he was... And he was 3 days without sight.
Returning to my car afterwards, hands still shaking, and a head split open by the impact. Goodbye to tearful aunts and traumatized uncles. Goodbye to the phenomenal. Goodbye to the tangible. Goodbye Wolverhampton. Goodbye Sanford. Goodbye Cromer. Goodbye Damascus. This cliff path is slippery in the dew. It is hard to climb with such an infection. I must carve out the bad flesh and sling it from the aerial. I must become infused with the very air.
Journey and something comes. Oh gosh. I can't read this. I don't have a good enough angle to be able to read that, and I'm afraid I'm going to fall off the cliff and die if I step any further back. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to read that text without having a tragic fall that will ruin the pacing of the game. Hello, Digits, BB. Hi, Luigi Firewolf.
Blind with panic, deaf with the roar of the cage traffic, heart stopped on the road to Damascus. Paul sat at the roadside, hunched up like a gull, like a bloody gull. As useless and as doomed as a syphilitic cartographer, a dying goat herd, an infected leg, a kidney stone, blocking the traffic bound for Sanford and Exeter. He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. All his roads and his tunnels and his paths led inevitably to this moment of impact. This is not a recorded natural condition. He should not be sat there with his chemicals and his circuit diagrams. He should not be sat there at all.
Alright, hi Luigi Firewolf. We came in just for the very end of Dear Esther, so I guess if you don't want like the ending of this game spoiled for yourself, maybe you should continue watching. But if that doesn't matter to you, you can see the very end of this game without having seen any of the rest of it. Because we are like 1 minute away from the finish of this. Of what game? part that you're talking about? Mario Kart, yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart. Oh man, I can see that tower. I can hear the fence. The fence shaking.
I am the Ariel. In my passing, I will send news to each and every star.
Dear Esther, I have burned the cliffs of Damascus. I have drunk deep of it. My heart is my leg, and a black line etched on the paper all along this boat without a bottom. You are all the world like a nest to me. Eggs unbroken form like fossils, come together, send small black flowers to the air. From this infection, hope. From this island, flight. From this grief, love.
I'm not a control right here. From the moment you step through the fence, the game does this automatically as a cutscene. How's Dear Esther? I'm not sure if the narrator's gonna say anything else right here. But yeah, this is the second time we've played this game on the channel. We came back to it for the sake of getting achievements. One of which was finding 4 hidden urns. One in each chapter of the game, which we got that achievement. And we also got the achievement for triggering every voiceover point in the game. Is that the end? Alright, well that was Dear Esther. Oh, well let's come back at the end there. Is there anything else after that? The credits. Okay, yeah, so that was Dear Esther. That's the second playthrough, and we, thanks to the help of a walkthrough, we succeeded in getting the 2 achievements that I needed this time around. So we got to hear each of the voiceovers in this playthrough, and also find all of the urns. And, I mean, even though I'm basically playing through the same thing again, and like the lack of interactivity can make this game kind of a bit dull to go through at times. I think the atmosphere of the game is really eerie and interesting and really sad too. I do feel like I appreciate the story more on the second playthrough because now that I kind of know what's meant to be happening, a lot of the really like mysterious things that the narrator says made a lot more sense to me this time. I mean, there's still a lot of like layers to what's happening, but the gist of it, from what we can figure out, is that all these narrations that we're hearing are letters that the narrator wrote to, I mean, this is spoilers right here, but it's what's going on here is that he's writing letters to his deceased wife Esther, who was presumably killed in a car accident by a drunk driver. And basically everything that's happening in the game is, you could interpret a lot of it as being in like the narrator's imagination, but he's it's all basically there to represent grief and the frustration and despair of losing a loved one. So yeah, I mean, it's the game lacks any gameplay, and so because of that can kind of drag down the experience at times, but it's still... See, you're eating my bone marrow. Okay. But yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting experience, I can say that much. We could rate the Matstar 007. Is Matstar, his charity stream begun already? Is it happening right now? Because if it is, I could rate him. Oh, it is. Okay, I wasn't aware. Let me set that up then. While we're sitting here. Oh, the music is gonna stop if I exit the game window. Well, I can still talk though. So yeah, this was Dear Esther. We accomplished what we need to in this playthrough. I can still do the oops. I can still do the director's commentary playthrough at some point. I probably won't do that like very soon, just because I'd still be playing through the same like sequences yet again, and I think if I do that too soon, it'll get a little bit dull to watch. So, you know, maybe give it like a... Let's just kind of set this game aside for like maybe a couple months or so, and then we can come back to it as a treat. So, kind of like what I did with Left on Red, coming back to that game. So we can come back to this game at a later date to go for the director's commentary achievement. And since we're still here, I can talk about some super special stream plans for this weekend. Because I have some super special stream plans, and it's actually a 3-day weekend here in Japan, because this Monday is Coming of Age Day in Japan. So, and actually, some of these, you could say these are to the people watching right now who aren't in my private Discord, because I announce things there to like my private group of friends who know these things in advance, but to everybody else, this is kind of an exclusive announcement, never heard anywhere else yet. So, my super secret stream plans, not super secret, super special stream plans. Tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. my time, I will be going live with Animal Crossing New Horizons to stream the winter fishing tournament happening in that game. So it's not a super huge event, but it is an occasion in which I can stream Animal Crossing again. So I'm gonna do it. So the actual fishing tourney in the game begins at 9 a.m. but I'll start a half hour before that just to like get ready and such. And so I'll just participate in some fishing for a while. Maybe do some other activities in Animal Crossing while I'm at it. And Grace can maybe join for a little bit of that. One thing that I found looking at walkthroughs is that you can actually do those fishing and bug catching tournaments cooperatively, and you get extra bonus points for having a friend play with you. So if Grace joins me, we can have have some fun with that for a bit. Grace needs to set up for her own stream though, so she wouldn't necessarily have to be able to stick around for too long, but if she's able to join, then it's more than welcome, and that'll be fun. So yeah, I'll be playing Animal Crossing for a while, and of course at the end of that, when Grace does go live with her stream, we can raid her stream with my viewership to show the support. So Animal Crossing tomorrow morning, that's at 8:30 Japan time, which, oh gosh, I want to say 8:30 Japan time. I want to say that's 3:30 p.m. US Pacific time, but I could be wrong on that. But basically, next time my channel goes live, it'll be for Animal Crossing. So just bear that in mind. That'll be 11 hours from now. 11 hours from now is my next stream. And then on Monday, my time, on the holiday, so 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And the other plan for the Monday holiday is there's two things that'll be happening. It's really special. The first thing is that my group will be playing the first DLC mini episode of To the Moon. So for anyone who watched the To the Moon playthrough on my channel recently, there are 2 DLC episodes for that game that kind of they're very short, but they kind of expand a bit on the lore of the series before going into the sequel. So we'll be playing the first of those DLC episodes, which will only be about a half hour long. And then I'll probably go, after that part, I'll go offline for a bit just to set up for the next thing. But the next thing I'll be streaming that day is a puzzle adventure game called Pitfall Planet that the developer of A Short Hike was involved in, for anyone who's watched A Short Hike on my channel. So Pitfall Planet, I'll be playing that, and that's a co-op game that's on Steam. It's a co-op only puzzle adventure game, and I need a player 2 for that game, which is why I'll be playing that game with official_Grace will be joining me for that game. And that'll be fun. And it seems like the game will be pretty long, so we won't play all of it in one stream. We'll probably play for a couple hours, and if Grace and I enjoy it, then we can finish Pitfall Planet on a stream on a later date. But yeah, those are the plans for this weekend. So to reiterate, tomorrow I'll be playing the Animal Crossing fishing tournament at 8:30 a.m. Japan time, or 3:30 p.m. on Friday US Pacific time. And then on my, oh gosh, I gotta get my time zones here. On my Monday morning at 11 p.m., which is 6 p.m. US Pacific time Sunday, I'll be playing the To the Moon DLC Episode 1, taking a short break, and then coming back with Pitfall Planet with official_Grace. Alright, so those are the stream plans for the weekend. I'm going to set up the raid right now. What's his full Twitch username? It's MattStar007. Is that correct? Gotta go look back at that comment. Dude, I don't have commands on my channel. Who do you think I am? The MattStar007. Got it. The MattStar007. He's playing Phasmophobia right now for 28 people. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to get that set up. So, thank everybody for watching Digits VV today. Here, let me go to my... Where's my goodbye screen? I do have a goodbye screen still, right? Thank everybody for watching Digits VV today. We're going to raid the MattStar007 for his charity, 24-hour charity stream that he's doing. I have my own stream going on tomorrow on Grace, and everybody does too, but I guess we could probably tune into Matt's thing here and there throughout his stream. It's pretty cool that he's doing a long stream like that for a charitable cause. So yeah, thank everybody for watching. We're going to raid Matt on twitch.tv/digitsvv. I'll see everybody tomorrow morning for Animal Crossing New Horizons fishing tournament. Good night, good morning, or good afternoon, everybody. Dude, it's Phoebe.